it was not even on. Change to, okay, cool. Y'all should be able to hear me now. Only before y'all can hear me. How about now? As you guys are popping in, let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Just want to make sure. Because that would have been tragic. And y'all would have been like, what's going on? I'll see Dash in the back. Can someone let me know that you can hear me? Please. In the comments. Would help. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Stephanie. I was like, somebody help me out. Okay. I was really just talking. I didn't scrape. Look at my chest, y'all. I didn't scrape my chest up trying to get my thing in. My mask is breaking my face out. You can see it over here. Especially over here. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, hey, Stephanie girl. And hey, everybody else who's on here too. So y'all, today we're talking about something I'm passionate about, a lot of things within this niche, but we're talking about purpose, passion, and sharing your story. Hey, purpose, passion, and sharing your story as a creative entrepreneur. And so that's what we're talking about today. It's gonna be really, really good. So I hope you guys are ready. Get your notepads out, get your pens out, all that stuff. And yeah, so before I hop in, just want to in case you're new here, my name is Andrea. I'm a visual branding strategist who helps you build your online brand around your business using the power of YouTube. So pretty much, let me get situated over here, y'all. Sorry, hold on. Okay. So yeah, as you guys are popping in, drop your first name, drop where you're from. I thought it was my phone. You should have seen me over here trying to bump up the volume. I was like, wait a minute, like something's off. I was like, something's missing. It's usually got a little bit more oomph to it. And I was just like, So yeah, I was like, oh my God, my microphone's not even on, but it's on now. I like this thing. It just looks goofy to me. I'm like, oh. Anyway, it's not the point. So yeah, so drop in your first name, where you're from, and then also tell us a little bit about your business. No links, but because those will probably get taken down because of the comments. But put in the comment section a little bit about your business and stuff like that. So yeah. And y'all, I love when you guys are engaging with me on here. Hey, Angela, I love when you guys are engaging with me on here and I like to pop your little comments up on there too. I was like, what is that? It's Dash. So I want you guys to feel free to comment, ask your questions, just engage and stuff like that, okay? So also do me a favor, hit the share button. Just to share this out with anybody who you think that could benefit from it. But then also, again, put your questions in the comment section. Then we'll get to the Q&A section at the end. But as we're going, just put your questions in and stuff like that. So, you guys, today, we're talking about, again, purpose, passion, and sharing your story as a creative entrepreneur. And I know a lot of people have like hesitations about this, and we're going to hop into that too. But I want you guys to just off the rip, what are some of your hesitations with sharing like your story, sharing your, like pretty much branding your purpose here online. So what are some of your hesitations? Do you feel like, oh my God, like I gotta be vulnerable, or I feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that, whatever it may be, put that in the comments just so we can start the conversation down there too. So y'all are quiet today. Y'all are real quiet. Don't mind my background or my hair. Listen, it's a Monday. So yeah, anyway, maybe that's why y'all quiet too, because it is Monday. I'm just talking. Okay. Anyway, so Dash, what are you eating? There we go. Hey. So pretty much as you are showing up online and as you guys are really like showing up and showing out, as you're building your brands, I want you guys to please remember that your story is a huge part of that. And that's why we're going to talk about this today, because a lot of people are terrified of of like really sharing their stories, of being vulnerable. Of being vulnerable, of feeling like, oh my gosh, like now I have to, it can just be a lot. It can feel like, oh my God, well, what if I say something wrong? What if I do this? What if I do that? And there's just a lot of stuff that can go in the midst of it. So I get that 100%. So yeah. But I wanted to remind you guys that people fall in love with people, and not just brands, not just companies, not just businesses. People fall in love with people. So you sharing your story will put you far like ahead of people, like businesses and companies who aren't doing so, or even just, self-employed or entrepreneurs, or whoever is doing it. People who are not sharing their story alongside it, like it's harder to connect with those people. Like, think of like one of my favorite hair care brands is Mael, and I love Mael because I really like the CEO. You know what I mean? Like, there was one product that I was like, no, this ain't it. And it kind of like, I was like, ooh, my hair didn't like this one. But instead, like, yeah, exactly. But instead, because I like really liked the brand and I really trusted the brand, I was like, maybe it's my hair, and that's some true power right there. So the whole point of saying that is like people connect with people. So as you guys are going through this process, as you are building out your brand, you're really like monetizing your purpose, monetizing your impact. I want you guys to just remember that. Sorry, y'all, my dog is just, I don't know these things back. He sometimes just goes wild. So if y'all see that, just ignore him. So yeah, I know how uncomfortable that can be. Yes. Yep. With liking the CEO or liking somebody who's involved or liking the person who's like, the brand person, like that matters. A lot of you guys are like, a lot of my clients like work with me seriously because they can relate to me or they feel like I'm relatable. And that I actually care about what they're doing and they like my story behind it too. So it's like there's a lot that goes into it because you as a person does matter as you're going forward within your brand and within your business. You can't just go out and sell t-shirts and then not tell your story and then expect for you to get this huge return on them, right? Like it has to be, usually there's a reason behind what you do. There's a why behind what you do. And when you share that, that's just much more likely to get better traction. So yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh shoot, what else was I gonna say? What are y'all saying? Yep. So what has anything that I've said made y'all like cringe, being like, oh my God, I gotta share that? Like, oh my gosh, I don't wanna, like, has anything made you like cringe so far? I'm actually still trying to pray for God's purpose for me. I love people and God, and I don't know exactly what is really my passion in the medical field, and now I want to help others in other ways. I'll just say, what are you passionate about? Like, God's not going to give you a purpose, and he's not going to align, how do I word it? Like, it's going to be something that you love. And the big thing is, I feel like purpose can be such a big word. Purpose is simply like, our purpose in life is to glorify God with our lives, to make disciples, to share the gospel, and how we do that is through a certain thing, so that certain thing may be, for me, like YouTube and branding and business, like helping people pull that out of them, like pull out like their purpose, pull out their impact, and help them monetize it and put it in a nice little package to then be able to present it to their audience and help them grow their audience in the same process. So that, and also different parts of your life, your purpose will change too. You know what I mean? Like, so at one point it may be that you're a nurse, and then now all of a sudden it's that you're helping women with their hair. So it's like your purpose can change. It's not, I don't believe it's like one like purpose. I think it can be multiple things in different seasons. Because if you have a kid, now part of your purpose is to be a mom or to be a dad. And same with like whenever you get married and stuff like that. So it can, work itself out. But I definitely get what you mean, but I would get a notepad and I would I would write down and I would ask myself, what am I passionate about? And then look at that list also, and then say what can have the most impact the quickest, but then can also have the most income to come with it. That way you can run with that idea. But you could definitely I would do your market research and see which ones resonate with you, just because I know you said you have other ways and stuff like that. So that's why I take it. That's exactly why I take advice from you, referred you to other YouTubers too. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So yeah, it's like that, like your story really does matter, you guys. And it doesn't mean that your story has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, this like, I was homeless and then I was this and then I was this, or I was strung out and I was this and I was that. If that's your story and you've overcome that, like, amen and more power to you. But I also want you to know, you don't have to have this like grotesque story. Like, I didn't ask for my story. It's mine. So I tell y'all, but like, that's not something you have to have in order to have the impact that you want to have, if that makes sense. You could have overcome bullying when you were younger. You could have overcome, living in a single parent household, you could just be like, listen, I wanted a better life for myself. I felt purposeless. I felt this, I felt that. And then you come up with this brand that's around something. Hopefully that's making sense. But, that's a good question. We're going to get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. What was I going to say? So yeah, my whole point in saying all that, you guys, is that your story really does matter, and what you share about yourself and what you share about your, like, even if it's just your story about how you have started what you're doing now, even if it's your why. Like, what's your why? Why did you decide to start what you're doing? Why are you passionate about it? Because that's also what's going to drive you. You got to have a why behind whatever you're doing. Thanks for the likes. You got to have a why behind what you're doing as well. So, and something else I wanted to tell you guys, the purpose and calling over your life matters, which is why I am so passionate about doing what I do right now. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'm following God's leading. God, okay, cool. I'm doing this now. Okay, cool. You let me know if it's time to switch or when to switch or whatever, or if I need to keep growing in it, whatever. But that's why I'm so passionate about doing what I do now. And that's why I'm so passionate. And I love my clients because they just push past barriers. Some stuff is uncomfortable. I'm like, listen, sis, I love you. And I'm telling you this because I need you to push past a little more. Give me more. Be a little bit more vulnerable with me. Like, be a little bit more vulnerable with us and let us in. Because that's where true connections happen. Think about a time you've had a conversation with you and a friend. That say, is a new friend, and they're like, y'all are cool, but then y'all have like a heart-to-heart moment where it's just like y'all's relationship gets way more deeper after that moment. It's because you allow yourself to be vulnerable and you allow the other person to be vulnerable too. We can talk about that in a little bit too. I know I'm talking fast. Y'all know you just notice you're talking fast. I know I'm talking fast, so I'm sorry. So yes, that's why I'm really passionate about doing what I do, and helping people bring that out and package it into literally a perfect little package to be able to present that to their audience and stuff like that. So that's why today we're talking about purpose, passion, and sharing your story as a creative entrepreneur. So yeah, anyway, y'all are quiet. Keep commenting. Well, y'all weren't that quiet for a minute, but y'all got quiet again. Anyway, so most likely you guys, you have probably tried to pitch to dry audiences. Most likely you've probably tried to stop. He's like hanging off the edge of the couch. Most likely you've tried to sell your products and again, pitch to crickets and either lost money in the process of it, or it was just kind of wasted effort, or it was just a learning opportunity, but you didn't really benefit from it in terms of the monetary area or the audience growth area and stuff like that. Maybe you have uploaded random content and hoped just because you uploaded 10 videos, that meant now you're going to have 100 clients. Maybe that was you too. Or you just uploaded a few, videos and you haven't seen the return on it that you wanted to see on it. I know. He's literally behind my, what is coffee table, right? Or whatever this is called. Little table by the couch. Stop, Bubba, stop. Go over there. Okay. Also, you most likely, you guys, because what I've noticed about my community here on YouTube and on Instagram and just like my online family, my online community, is that you guys have a tremendous amount of impact. But there may be, you have a tremendous amount of impact, period. The one problem with that a lot of times is the fact that you aren't sure how to put it into a nice cohesive package. You aren't sure how to pair that with what you're selling to make it add up, so that way people are like, oh my gosh, like I love her, and so I'm going to invest with her. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, I love him, I'm going to invest with him. Or, I want to be a part of her community. I want to be a part of his community. Whatever that may be. So hopefully that's making sense, you guys. If it isn't, let me know. So yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so one quick question, and then we'll keep going, is how much of your story should you share? Hey, Janine, how much of your story should you share? Let me put this comment box up here. I'm sorry, I didn't read the question like 8 times. How much of your story should you share while still maintaining personal boundaries? And that's actually a question I get a lot. So much. And I've talked about this with my clients too. So I was going to say something, but then I was like, no, I don't want to say that. I was going to say, oh, just as much as you're comfortable with, but it's like, nah, that's not my answer. It's as much as you think that needs to be shared. No, I'm not going to say that, because that can be, you can take that as whatever it is. How do I want to answer this question? I'm just trying to be real with you guys. Okay. So I personally believe that you can grow into it. So you don't have to just all out, first video or first time online or getting your business online. You're like, listen, y'all, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you go all the way in. So if you're uncomfortable with that, if you're comfortable with that, then go for it. But if you're uncomfortable, you can ease your way into it. But quite honestly, for example, there are things that I share online, like things that I'm struggling with, like me feeling like whatever, if and when imposter syndrome hits me, I'll share that. In like my upbringing, I've shared it with you guys. I lost my parents when I was 13, and it wraps into why I do what I do now and stuff like that. So I've shared that. I will say, to start, a good place to start is sharing kind of like how you got started with what you're doing. I think that's the best place to start. So like your why, like why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Is it the fact that, like Janine, she deals with chronic illnesses. So is it the fact that you've dealt with that and you want to be able to help other people overcome and come through that? Like, is that your why? And if that's your why, then I want you to take that as it is, and you dig a little bit deeper to figure out, okay, how much do I need to share in order to get the story across, in order to get the point across, in order to get the impact across. So does that make sense? Yes. Thank you, Courtney. I really appreciate that. So let me go back to the question just so I don't forget it. So that's one thing, but then also for me, I share various aspects of my life. Like, you guys know, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I still have a full-time job. Yes, I have a dog who's tearing up my couch right now. Dash, please stop. Stop. Anyway, and he just went back to doing it right after I turned my head. Anyway, Dash, oh, he looks crazy right now. Anyway, see, I be getting distracted. So you guys know that if you have been here for a while, you know that I went to Mizzou. You know that I was a vegan and vegetarian at one point. Y'all know I'm a Christian. Like, there's a lot of things that y'all know, and based on that, there's a lot of things that I share within that, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps you. But there are some things, like I don't share arguments with my boyfriend, because that's a boundary of mine where I'm like, I'm going to protect like my relationship. And I'm not going to put everything out there for everybody to have their opinion on it. Right? Now, other people's opinions are none of my business. Like, other people's opinions about me are none of my business, but I'm also not going to allow that part to be just displayed all over the internet either. Like, that's one thing that is a boundary for me. So you just have to see, like, for you, what is off limits. And then another thing too is like, what is needed to share, and then what's a nice to know. Like, it's nice to know that I don't know, used to be a vegetarian. Now, a part that is needed to share is that I am a Christian, because that's how what I teach within my YouTube Pro program is guided based on, it's not a Christian program, but it is guided based on that, if that makes sense. So like, that's really like my root. That's where my you know how to word it, but yeah, like that's where my what am I trying to say? Sorry, y'all. That's where like my belief system is. So there's a lot of things, if I'm saying, hey, you guys, challenge yourself today. If I say this and I give you a scripture, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that it's like solely like all Christian based, but it is for women and entrepreneurs of impact who are looking to go after their purpose in life, go after what God has called them to do in their lanes and in their area. So that's why I say that. So I can tell you guys my Christian walk. I can tell you guys how I came to Christ. I can tell you guys how, like, different things that have gone on in my life that have led me to where I am now. So it's kind of like telling the whole story. I don't share my relationship with the guy I'm dating at all on social media. Yeah, you don't have to. And there's like every now and then, like, y'all probably know my boyfriend's name was Christian. So I vlog with him sometimes, or he'll be in my videos, or he'll be in like different vlogs and stuff, which I have no problem sharing, but I don't share the arguments. I don't share like certain things. And that's also another reason on social media, you got to be careful that you're not just, people give you what they want you to see, like, because they have boundaries as well. So just don't start comparing yourself either, just in case that's another thing. But that was a good question. So yeah, I'm glad it was helpful. Let me put this one back on the screen. Thank you, girl. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. So what was I saying? So most likely you guys, and if you're in this community, you have a tremendous amount of impact, but you just may not know how to show up and, present it. You just may not know how to, convey that and put that into a package online. You may not know how to pair that with what can actually be monetized, so you can start doing that and walking your purposeful time. So there's other things within the process that you just may not know how to do, or things that you're like, I wish I knew how to do this or do that or whatever. What was my other thing? So some of the reasons that the above things that we just talked about aren't working or weren't working for you is simply because you may not have an audience. Some people feel like, okay, because I get this question too. Do I build my audience first or do I build my product first? And then number two is that you don't know how to brand your passion. You don't know how to brand your purpose. You don't know how to, again, put it in that package that you needed to have within it. Number three is that you're probably afraid. You may be afraid of being vulnerable on camera. You may be afraid of being vulnerable online. And I was on live last week and we were talking about, there was a lady, I can't remember her name, but I remember her photo if she had popped up in the comments. But we were talking about the fact that she was like, well, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to say this, or I don't want to do this online. Or I don't want to show up online because what if somebody eventually makes a video about me and, bashing me and stuff like that. And I'm like, sis, you were watching too many bashing videos. You're seeing too much of this stuff. And even if that was to happen, I said to her, first and foremost, you walk in integrity. And if you're walking in integrity, you have nothing to hide. But then also, y'all, if you also have to realize that you're going to make mistakes in business. You're going to make mistakes in business, and some of them will be your fault. And all you have to do is in the spirit of being vulnerable, you talk about it, and it's okay. You're a human. You're not expected to be perfect. But so that's all I was saying. Yeah. And Janine, why are you afraid of being vulnerable online? What's the reason you're afraid of being vulnerable online? I think we've talked about this before, but yeah, what's the reason that you're afraid of being vulnerable online? We'll talk about that too. So a big reason that I see from people who are not showing up, who are not branding their passion, branding their purpose, is one, they just don't know how, and then two, they're afraid of being vulnerable, like Janine said, or it may be painful, it may be tough, it may be uncomfortable. Y'all, I get that 100%, and let me tell you something. That's where true breakthrough actually comes, because they're you sharing your story, you showing up online consistently, you being yourself allows other people the freedom to be themselves as well. That's where the true power comes in, and that's how conversations start. You see what I'm saying? That's how your audience begins to be built, because you're being real with yourself. You're being real with yourself. So yeah. Excuse me. So you may have huge freaking dreams, but no action steps. And honestly, you guys, you may have no idea how to get where you're trying to go. And that's why with my clients too, and also my Facebook group, I'm going to walk them through a process of how goal setting and realistic goal setting, and how to get from one place to another. So y'all, one thing that hurts me, and it's that's the reason why I created my program, is it hurts me to see people who have all this impact, all this power, all this fire, but they don't know how to brand it. They don't know how to build their cohesive brand, their cohesive business with it, and also show up online consistently, right? It's that hurts my heart. And it also hurts my heart when somebody has all these goals, all these vision, all this just amazing stuff that's going on in your head, but you're allowing fear to stop you. You allow not showing up online to stop you. You're allowing certain things to get in your way, to boggle you down. That hurts to know that that's the case. And I'm not saying that that's not something you can't overcome, because it definitely is. But I'm just saying, I don't want you guys to look at that and assume that, because I get my question for you guys, and I'm kind of going off what Janine's saying. I haven't read the whole thing, but my question for her is whenever she asked whenever she said, the girl in the last video, whenever she was what if somebody makes a video about me or does this or cancels me, whatever. And I was who cares? One, you're afraid of something that has never happened before. You're afraid of something that has never happened before. Where is the data to prove that will happen to you? And if you don't have it, keep moving, because that's just a negative thought that you're going to eventually allow to become a belief if you're not careful. So I definitely feel y'all. I do, because it's not easy. But I have to be real with you guys to let you guys know that that's still not a reason for you not to show up. That's still not a reason, because there are people out here who need to hear what you have to say. There's people out here who need like you to walk in obedience, because they need someone like you to show up. They need, like, you are a part of their true freedom. Like, you are a part of that. So I just encourage you guys to keep pushing. Yes, fear can definitely take over. Fear can definitely take over. And that's something that we have to be mindful of, because at the end of the day, you guys, there's only one person that can do what you do, the way you do it, and the way that God wants it brought to this earth, and that's you. So if you don't show up and do it, then we're missing something. We're literally missing something if you don't show up and do it. Okay, Janine says, social media can be so vicious, and I'm afraid of talking about things that my family and friends don't know about. I have a question for you. Who within your family and friends would be offended or feel some type of way about what you would say? And then my second question is, what is your action step to either talking to them about it, or what is your other plan to overcome that? Because Janine, there are so many people who need to hear your message, who need to hear you, who need to see you show up fully online. And you don't want that to stop you. And a lot of times we think, oh, this person's going to feel this way, or oh, this person's going to think this. This person is never thinking that. That person never thought that, never will, or whatever. And a lot of people are afraid of like, oh, like this girl in high school is going to be like, oh, who do you think she is? And I'm like, so just think about it. Whenever you have like a certain thought that may pop up in your mind, and that's why in the Bible says, take every thought captive and submit it to the word of God. So what thought are you allowing to become a belief that's allowing you to walk in an action? And because your thoughts become beliefs, and your beliefs turn into action, or a lack thereof of action, or inaction, right? So what thought is allowing you to think, okay, I'm going to be canceled online, like social media is vicious? Where are you seeing that? And then also, how do you know social media will be vicious to you? But then also, if you have experienced that, what's your process of overcoming that, you guys? Like, there's so much. Like, y'all are people of impact. Like, you guys are in this. Yes, that's awesome. You guys are in this group for a reason. You guys are in this community for a reason. Like, you guys are goal setter. You guys are impact, like people of high impact. Like, you have a lot to bring to the table, and we cannot let fear get in our way. We cannot let random beliefs, random thoughts that came from nowhere, that have no data to back it, to make us feel a certain way. Exactly. When I started sharing my sex and self love stories on Facebook, people loved it and felt more connected to me. Exactly. Because there's so many people. Yeah. There we go. Coco J. It was you, sis. There we go. I knew. Okay. I was like, I know her face if I saw her face. But yes. So, yeah, people will do anything. Yeah, people will gossip. People will do anything for the money, but that's none of our business. Like, that's none of our business. Like, and if you allow them to be the ones that stop you from doing what you're trying to do, they won. So you might as well, like, just don't do it anyway. They won if you're just going to allow them to just stop you from doing it. You know what I mean? It was you. Sorry. I'm afraid of my dad's reaction to things that will inevitably, oh my God, come out when I deal with topics like my mental health. Well, Janine, exactly what you said. You said inevitably, which means it's going to happen. Like, it's going to come out anyway. So why not come out with a bang? But then also on top of that, have a huge amount of impact in there too. Like, have a huge amount of impact in there. Hi, Christian. So yeah, where was I, y'all? But keep commenting. This is good. I love when you guys are engaging. I would prefer to talk to y'all than follow my outline. So keep commenting. So yeah, you guys, we cannot let fear get in our way. We cannot let fear of random freaking internet trolls get in your way. Like, let's be real. Like, what data do you have to prove that they're going to make a video about you? And why would you let that stop you? Like, that's actually your own excuse. That's your excuse for not believing in yourself. You're like, well, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to whatever. and you know that's the next step you need to take, sometimes you guys, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway. You cannot let that stuff stop. You cannot let that stuff be like, oh, okay, well, this is uncomfortable and I've never done it before, so I'm not going to do it. Like, how would there ever be a new invention if nobody had ever done it before? It's going to be new, right? Like, you know, sorry. I know I'm coming, but sorry, I get really passionate about that. So, yeah, you guys got this for real. And I love you. And that's why I'm like so passionate with you guys about this, because I know like God has put so much inside of you guys, and it's so important to just show up, just try it. And it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be some moments where you're like, oh my God, this feels awkward. But it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, I challenge you, if you feel like there's any part of that within you, I challenge you to say, where did that thought come from? And why do I feel this way? And journal that down and say, why do I feel this way? What is it within me that's making me feel, like I'm fearful of this or scared of that or whatever that may be? Like, what is it within you that makes you feel that way? Okay. So yeah. So literally, my next thing is my challenge to you guys. And my challenge to y'all is and I challenge you to do this. One of my big things too is like, as we are going through like live videos, and as like, if I'm making a video that can help you and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, I challenge you to pull out a sheet of paper, pull out your iPad, pull out a notepad, pull out something and take notes along with it, so that you are applying it to not just like learning it and be like, okay, cool, that's cool, or that's nice to know. It's like, no, like a lot of the stuff that I'm like walking through with you guys is so that you guys can take action and you can really start to see that transformation in your life. So I challenge you guys next to like actually do this first and foremost, but show up online within the next week, even if you're scared. Like, I don't care how you do it, whether that's a live video, whether that's a YouTube video you post, whether that is an Instagram post. But don't, if an Instagram post is really comfortable, you're like, cool, I can do an Instagram post. You did an Instagram post? Okay, I can do that. No, don't do an Instagram post. Do a YouTube video or do a live video. Do something that will scare you this week. That's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way you're going to grow. Like, you don't build muscle in the gym when you're just lifting, doing little things, this and that. Like, no, it's like when you feel the pressure, when you feel like the tightness, when you feel your muscles start to get like, like that's when you need to push, like do one more rep, because that's when the real growth happens. And then you'll notice you can do 5 more reps next time. And then it's okay. No, it's not too soon, sis. Come on. You've got this. Okay. Then my next thing is, I figured out that most of me not sharing my story came from shame. That made me be more vulnerable. That's good. Like, that's really, really good. And a lot of it too, probably is shame. Exactly. The face of lots of followers. He speaks of memes. Yeah. I mean, and you guys too. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I challenge you guys to show up online in some way that's going to scare you. You don't have to get on there and talk about nothing crazy. Just go on there and say, hey, like, tell them about your business. Tell them about what you do. Show up, right? Like, if you actually want to build an audience, you have to show up. You cannot just be like, oh, how do I grow subscribers? How do I get my people? It's like, they have to want to connect with you. It's really, I promise y'all, it's not science. It's not like hard. It's really not. You got to show up, and low key, y'all know what y'all need to do. You know what you need to do. You're just not doing it because you may be afraid. There may be fear in the way. There may be people bondage stopping you. There may be, again, shame, like Self-Care Boss was saying, whatever that may be. So yeah. Hey, Courtney. Exactly. Yep. So yeah, and then also just get vulnerable. So I encourage you guys, share your story in some way. Share your story, whether with somebody you've never shared it with, or share your story online. Share your story online, as long as it's safe, of course. But you can open up. So just be yourself, be real. If you need to not say names about certain things, you don't have to. So be safe, of course. I need to tell you all that. But either share your story with somebody you've never shared it with before, or share it online. That's my challenge to you. Just 2 things. That's just 2 things. That's it, right? Just 2 things. So I also want you guys to look at it this way. These are some things I want you guys to consider. Consider how many people need you to bring what you have to the table. Consider the people who are waiting on your obedience. Consider what it would look like next year for you to be in the exact same place you are right now, with the exact same fears, exact same shame, the exact same rejection. What would that feel like to you? Like it probably wouldn't feel good. Like we all want to. There we go. We all want to evolve. So what will it feel like? I want you guys to just come with me. Just close your eyes and let's go to, what's the date? July 6th, 2021. Corona is hopefully done. Boom. We passed it. We survived. We're great, right? We're thriving. But I want you to answer the question, like, how would I feel if I was in the same place I was last year, right? Like, how would you feel? And for honestly, a lot of us, that would not feel good. That would not feel good. That's why we make vision boards. That's why we go and we set these goals. That's why we do all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to be in the same place. We always want to be evolving, right? But telling your story in person and also just posting. Yeah, you can. And let's talk about that too in a minute, Angela. That's a good question. So I just want you guys to think of it like that. Like in a year, if I was in the same place that I am right now, would I be happy with myself? Would I be proud of myself? Would I be proud that I let the fear stop me? As this other person, as these other brands, as these other companies, these businesses are pushing past fear, are like going against the resistance, are getting uncomfortable, and they're shooting past you. Would you feel comfortable with yourself? Would you be happy with yourself? And if the answer is no, then I have something for you. I want you guys, and I invite you guys to look into YouTube Pro. If you guys are looking to actually build your business, build your brand, okay? I want you guys to look into YouTube Pro. When people come, well, I'll do that in a minute. Sorry, I get distracted. So yeah. So that's what I encourage you guys to do. All right. It is amazing. If you are looking to build your brand, if you're looking to grow your impact online, you're looking to learn how to actually be really, really good at at visual storytelling. If you're wanting help with pushing you to past your comfort zone, because something I promise my clients, I say, listen, I'm going to push you farther than what you think you can go. That's my job. I'm going to hold you to a higher expectation than you even see possible for yourself. That's my job. So if that's something you're looking for and you're like, I need accountability, I need help, then look at the thing on the screen right here, right there, AndreaDenise.com/YouTube Pro. I want you guys to go to that link, read the application page, go through it. And then if it resonates with you, I want you to go ahead and click the button to go ahead and fill out your application. Okay. I have 5 spots available, and it's open and closed enrollment as well. So the enrollment will probably open up in October or something. So yeah, if that's something that you are like, listen, I need help showing up consistently online and actually creating content that converts. I want to be able to make income. I want to be able to increase my revenue. I want to be able to surround my business with a cohesive brand. Then it's definitely the place like you want to be. If you want to be held accountable, if you need accountability, I got you. Okay. Like I've got you. So my dog has calmed down and so have I. So anyway, you guys. So yeah. And I just want to show you guys really quick the YouTube Pro page. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, so this is the YouTube Pro page. So I want you guys to go ahead and visit here. There's so much on this page that is just will be really, really good for you to look through, see if it resonates with you. And in a quick explanation of what YouTube Pro even is. YouTube Pro is a comprehensive high-performance group coaching program for entrepreneurs, content creators, and small business owners who are ready to master visual storytelling, tap into a new audience, and show up as the experts in their field, all while creating profitable and impactful content that converts in the next 6 months, okay? So we're not just posting content for the heck of it. We're also not just trying to build a YouTube channel just to build it. We're not just trying to grow subscribers just to say, cool, we have subscribers. No, we're building businesses. We're building impact. We are focusing on what God has called us to do and how we actually monetize that so we can start getting revenue in the door. That's what we're doing. So yeah, go ahead and comb through this. There is a section of this is for, this is not for. So comb through that. Let me know, okay? And then also you can click any of these buttons on the page to go ahead and submit your application. So definitely do that. Again, you guys, applications do close within the next, I think, week and a half, I believe. I don't know what today is. Monday. Yeah, no, within the next like 2 weeks, I believe. But I will tell you, I only have spots for 5 to 7 people. 7 people is my absolute max. So if you were interested in the program, if any of this that we've talked about today has resonated with you, like push past any resistance that you may feel and go ahead and apply. That's my invitation to you. And I want you guys to do that seriously because it does matter. Like your purpose, your impact, your brand does matter. There's people waiting for you to show up online. So if that's you, I do invite you to go ahead and apply for YouTube Pro. So yeah, where did y'all go? There you go. Okay, so let's go through. So what are some questions that you guys have in the process? What are some of the questions that you guys had when people come see me for massage? They are instantly impacted. Because of the healing advice I give. Exactly. People will connect with you. Exactly. God wants us to progress. Like, that's the whole point. That's what life is. If he didn't, like, we wouldn't grow. We would say babies our whole lives. Like, so I think the biggest question I can ask you guys is, would you be okay with yourself if you stayed in the same place you were today and you were in the same place next year, on July 6th? And if you are, that's fine. That's fine. But if you are not okay with that, what do you need to do? The second question is, what do you need to do to ensure that you won't be in the same place? That's where the key comes, because there's so many people who are like, well, I want to have this. I want to hit this amount of my business. I want to do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. That's like completely possible. It may be a big gap, but it is completely possible and completely feasible. But you may need help along the process. You may need guidance. You may need someone to help you. You may need a community to help you along the process too. So yeah. So what is required? What I ask my clients is, what is required of you? What is required for you to do? Who do you need to become in order to hit this goal? Right? Like if you're trying to get to $50,000 in business in a year, great. What is required of you to get there? What do you need to be doing to get there? And that's also where I come in and say, okay, let's talk about this. What are some things we need to do? Here's how we set this thing up. This is why we have YouTube Pro in the first place. And so many other things. And we're like, okay, we do this, we follow this method, we do that. We make sure we know our target audience. We have this, and that's the whole process. So you can see YouTube Pro as kind of what's required in order to get you to that goal. Because like literally hand in hand, we are running towards our purposes, okay? We are running towards what God has for us, which is why I created the program. And it's also something that whenever I first started on YouTube, I needed and I did not have. And so that's why I created it, because I saw the hole and I wanted to fill it. So yeah, what questions do y'all have? And all that stuff. What questions do y'all have? Some of y'all are probably already on the application page. And if you are, it's okay. What questions do you have? And another question too is like, go ahead and comment. What do you think is required of you to get to the next step? What do you think is required of you? For me, what was required of me to get to the next step was that I had realized I had come as far as I could without the help that I needed. Like with the knowledge that I had, I did a lot. I graduated from, YouTube University, from Google University. And I did as much as I could. I read books, I did this, I did that, but I realized I needed coaching. So that was one of the things that was required of me in order to get to the next step. And it's worked. Another thing that's been required of me is to push past resistance, push past uncomfortableness, discomfort, push past things that are not aligned with who I need to be and who I need to be thinking, what I need to be thinking to get to where I'm trying to go. So I had to push through that. That was one of the things I had to push through. I had to get very clear on what my channel is about and who my target audience is. And that's also a method I teach within the YouTube Pro program. It's called my target person profile method. And it literally, you gonna know your person front and back, all right? Within that method. So yes. So it's like, what is required? So something else I want you guys to do is like draw it. Like if I had my iPad, I would do it with you guys really quick, but I don't. No, I don't think I can do this on here. But what is required of you to get where you're trying to go? What is required of you to get where you're trying to go? So have a chart, put your goal over here, put where you are right here, and draw a line, and then do little tick marks to say, okay, this is required of me. I need to show up online consistently. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do that. And then after you do that, kind of not forget the goal, but don't focus so much on the goal. Focus on the process. Focus on what you need to do, because it's not guaranteed you're going to hit 50K. You may hit 55. You may hit 60. But what you can control, you have to focus on what you can't control, and what you can't control is what you do, like how you are showing up. That's what you can't control within the process of it. So, yup. Yes, your channel can be monetized if it's not in the US. If you go to if you literally type in that question on Google, it should tell you what areas you can monetize with. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Could you show up by telling your story in person and also just posting? Basically 50-50. Yes. No matter what, it's really you sharing your story. You infusing who you are, why you do what you do, why you're passionate about that. It's going to help people learn to trust you. It's going to help people realize, okay, she knows what she's talking about, or he knows what he's talking about. People will begin to trust you and love you and want to be a part of your community and want to be a part of your programs and want to be a part of anything that you're offering, because now you've built up that trust. So yeah, sharing your story and on video, and then also on Instagram post is definitely a thing. Janine said, I need help with time management. That's the thing is, I applaud you for even recognizing that, because some people, a lot of people don't recognize that they need help with that. One of my things that I do with time management is I literally have my calendar, my planner right here. And for a while I was trying to do a digital planner, and it just was not working for me. So I got me a planner, and what I do, usually on Saturdays or Fridays, or I try not to work on, or I really don't work on Sundays, so I usually take that as my Sabbath, but long story short, anyway, I'll make a list of things that I need to accomplish that week. But then also, it kind of goes back, because I set my yearly goals. I break my yearly goals down to my quarterly goals, and I also walk through this in my program too, because that's one of those things where I know that can be a barrier for some people. So I do walk through time management within my program too. We literally, I think 2 coaching calls ago, we did quarterly planning. So we planned out our next 3 months. Yeah, you got to write some stuff down. So I do yearly goals, and then from there I do quarterly goals, break it down to monthly goals, and break it down to weekly things you need to do in order to hit that quarterly and that yearly goal. So goal setting is really big too. But then also taking the action that is required of you, and investing where you need to invest, showing up where you need to show up, which is online, which is, on YouTube, which is on maybe Instagram stories, which is on Instagram, or YouTube stories, and so many other places, doing what is required to get you there. So it's really that's what I do. And I base it off of my 90-day goal. So if that makes sense. So this is my goal. What is required of me to hit that goal? And even if I get to the end and I didn't hit that goal, I can look back and say, I did everything that I knew to do. So either one, I need to invest in something else that can help me, or I can say, or did I do everything that I needed to do? Did I show up? Did I include everything that I needed to do in order to get to that goal? Does that make sense? Yes, I have to write stuff down. I gotta write stuff down. I tried the whole digital calendar thing. I actually got me an iPad recently, y'all, and I've been using that as a digital notepad, and I'm loving it. That is cool. But I do like my planner. I really do like my planner. It's nice to know, especially with a full-time job, you guys, you have to be, oh my gosh, you gotta be, because let me just be real, y'all. You can find an excuse for anything. So I challenge you guys to ask yourself, where is your, and I'll answer that question, or I'll talk about that in just a second, Angela. Good. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? So I don't know what I was going to say, but my question for you is, what do you need to do in order to show up how you need to show up? What do you need to do? What do you need to do in order to hit your goal? because and the reason why it hurts me so much to see people be stuck and in the same place they were, and then in like the year later, is because that was me, y'all. I didn't know, had no idea, and I used the I didn't know excuse. It's like I didn't know can't be an excuse all your life. It can't. And I'm not saying, I understand we're learning and we're growing, of course, but I'm just being real with you guys, because a lot of times, like, I used to use the excuse, well, I didn't know, like, I wasn't sure, and it's like, did you Google anything? Like, did you try to look? And it's like, no. So it's like, so yeah, anyway. I feel, let me put that back on the screen. I feel my weak point would probably be editing videos. I'm not so tech savvy. That's okay. Have you, like on YouTube, have you looked up how to edit videos? Have you looked up, like, just, like, the basics of editing videos? If you have a Mac, or an Apple computer, well, I guess it's called Macs. Anyway, I used to use iMovie, and it's free. It comes with the Apple computers. So sometimes you just have to, like, Google University and YouTube University are not bad. They're not. Now, can they get you where you're trying to go all the way? Probably not. Most likely not. But you can definitely learn a lot from there. So if you're ever not sure, or if you ever, say, hey, I'm just not tech savvy, or I'm not, like, a numbers person, or I'm not a data person, I don't want to look at my analytics, or I don't know how to look at my analytics. It's like, have you looked up a video? Have you looked up resources to figure out how to look up your analytics? Or are you just using the excuse that you don't know how to look at your analytics because you don't really want to accept the fact that there's other things that could be causing you not to grow, that you could be in your own way, but you're putting it you're putting the excuse on the fact that you don't know how to look at your analytics, rather than figuring it out and giving it your all. A lot of people are, and I heard Eric Thomas say this before, and I was like, whoa, a lot of people are afraid of going all in, removing all barriers, afraid of going all in, because if it doesn't work, they have to say it was on them. They have to take accountability for that. And a lot of people don't want to take accountability. Just because it didn't work doesn't mean anything. Just, we get up and try again. That doesn't mean anything. So, whew. Anyway. Thanks for the likes. Anyway, y'all, I love you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. DMs are the best place to, yes, I actually can do a video on how to read your analytics. That's a good idea. But in the meantime, just Google something until I can get to it. I honestly created my content calendar, like 2-month content calendar, and that's not on there, but however, I can possibly, like, squeeze it in somewhere. So yeah, I can probably do that. So yeah. All right, you guys. Oh wait, let me scroll down. Angela, I didn't mean to call you out. I promise. I really didn't mean to call you out. I'm only saying that because I used the excuse so long. It was like everything else was the problem. Everything else. Like, nothing was on me. Nothing was my problem. And I'm like, no, sis. There's some things that you can take accountability for and realize, no, you're actually afraid of your own success. And that's why you're blaming it you're not growing on the fact that you don't know how to read your analytics. See what I'm saying? So, yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff, y'all, we didn't know, like, how to do math when we were, 1, but we learned how to do it. Just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you don't do it. You can learn. So, but I hope you guys know that I love you, and I did not mean to come for your edges or nothing. I was just trying to be real. If I did come for your edges and it happened, it's fine. It's fine. You lived. We're alive. We're thriving. And we're getting better. That's the biggest thing. Thank you. The likes. Yes. We're getting better. And I want you guys to really go after your purpose, go after your callings, and do it in a way that can actually, you're not just roaming around. You're not just, like, going in circles. I was going in circles for years. I spent thousands of freaking dollars on stuff that didn't make any difference because I was the one in my way. I was like, well, when I have a better camera, when I have better lighting, when I have blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like, no, Andrea, when you get the heck out of your own way is the solution. So, sorry. I said I was done. I'm sorry. I know. You're welcome. You are welcome. So, I encourage you guys, get out of your own way, share your story, do something that makes you, like, that frightens you, this week, and do it over and over and over again until it becomes okay, until it becomes normal. Okay. So I love you guys so much. If you need me, or also, one more thing is, be sure to apply for YouTube Pro if you're ready to officially stop going in circles, Yeah. Coco J said, I said when I get a sew in, I'll do it. Girl, I feel that. It's like, oh, when I get my nails, I'll start losing weight. Oh, when I, get my hair done, I can actually show up on camera. It's like, do what you can to your hair and let's move, sis. Like, so I feel you. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. So if y'all are ready to stop going in circles, if you're ready to actually surround your business with an online brand so you can start getting in front of new audiences, you can learn how to use visual storytelling to literally put yourself as an expert, as a force in your field. That was corny. That wasn't supposed to be corny. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it. Anyway, whatever. Then apply for YouTube Pro. All right. There's 5 spots, and I already have a ton of applications, but I want you guys to have the opportunity to go ahead and put your application in. So hurry, do it quick. Okay. Anyway, guys, I love you. It's always really fun to talk to you guys on live. And I will tell you guys, I used to be terrified. I did my nails, y'all, by the way. I used to be terrified of live videos. So if I can get up on live, if I can decide, look at Dash trying to get in the thing. If I can push past my fear, push past the resistance, push past being uncomfortable to do lives, you guys can do it too. Okay. Dash, stop. Dash. So yeah, you guys, anyway, I love you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video, in the next live video, which is Wednesday. I don't know. Be sure you set your notification though, because it is already scheduled out. So love you guys so much, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.